Fáilte ar ais go radio public tháinig Socialist. Ar dús ar an clár aniu, píos a beag ceall.
You've heard of Easter's prophecy that we shall rise again, and the prophetic words of Connolly that we shall rise again. Well, 50 years have passed away, and there are men in jail today who by their actions clearly say that we shall rise again. So, what of the reigning renegades when we shall rise again? Retreating from their barricades when we shall rise again. At England's altar they will kneel and shamelessly for aid appeal, but we'll have men to match their steel when we shall rise again. A nationwide revolt will be when we shall rise again. With North and South united when we shall rise again. Unitedly one final blow, the foreigner to overthrow, both native serf and foreign foe, when we shall rise again. So remember Easter's prophecy that we shall rise again, and the prophetic words of Connolly that we shall rise again. For 50 years have passed away, and there are men in jail today who by their actions clearly say that we have risen again.
And that was Easter's prophecy, recorded live of Longkesh by the Republican prisoners. Now, since the beginning of the year, the national campaign to rebuild the All-Ireland Socialist Republic has significantly stepped up its activism. The This Is Our Mandate, This Is Our Republic campaign has been taken to the 4 provinces of Ireland and has also seen activism in Scotland. Campaign stalls are being held across the country, engaging citizens on the need to rebuild the Republic and distributing copies of the democratic programme of An Céad Dáil, the roadmap to a socialist society in Ireland. These have been given to people in towns and villages across the country and has been a great response to the campaign. In Belfast, in occupied Ireland, comrades from Lasher Yarrick are currently working on a campaign mural on the iconic International Wall. The very presence of a campaign mural in Belfast, in occupied Ireland, challenges the ongoing partition and illegal occupation of our country, and it raises awareness about the ongoing struggle to rebuild the Socialist Republic in the heart of Republican West Belfast. Over the coming weeks and months, the campaign will continue to build, with more events and activism planned. There are 2 important events over the next couple of weeks that we encourage all supporters to attend. The first takes place at 7 p.m. on Saturday the 21st of January to mark the 100th anniversary of An Céad Dáil Éireann and the establishment of the Irish Socialist Republic. A major public meeting will take place in Wynn's Hotel on Abbey Street in Dublin to commemorate An Céad Dáil, but more importantly to debate and discuss how Republicans can work with the Irish people to rebuild the All-Ireland Socialist Republic in the 21st century. This event is not to be missed. The second event takes place in Solohead Beg, County Tipperary on Saturday, January 26th. At 1:30 p.m, Irish Socialist Republicans will gather to mark the 100th anniversary of the beginning of the Tan War, which took place on January 21st, 1919. This will be a commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the Solohead Beg ambush. The Tan War was a people's war that fought British imperialism in Ireland to a standstill before our People's Republic were betrayed by counter-revolution. The main oration of the day will be given by Dr. Rowan O'Donnell, one of Ireland's most prominent historians, and this is a key opportunity for Republicans in the Munster area to get involved with the Our Mandate, Our Republic campaign. Now, this week, Irish Social Republicans took part in an event to commemorate the 3rd anniversary of the occupation of Moore Street in 2016. The occupation took place to save historic Moore Terrace from Free State destruction. This important event was organised by the Save Moore Street from Demolition group, and it attracted many of the activists who took part in the 6-day occupation and 6-week citizens' injunction that prevented the destruction of our revolutionary history. Moore Terrace was the last headquarters of the Irish Republic in 1916, and the whole area around the terrace is an important battleground site. In an attempt to destroy our revolutionary history, the Free State were going to allow the destruction of the battleground by capitalist speculators. It is important that our revolutionary history is defended, and we commend the Save Moore Street from Demolition group for their constant vigilance and campaigning on this issue. We encourage supporters of the campaign to drop down to the weekly stall and to help play our part to save Moore Street and defend our revolutionary history. Ireland's history is not for sale. The following is the oration made at today's commemoration by Dermot Brannock of the Save Moore Street from Demolition group. Very worthwhile listening.
We've been here since September in 2014. The 1916 Rising took part in an international context. It was in the middle of the First World War. Now, there are people who tell us that we should remember the First World War, that it's an issue of remembrance. And what they mean is that we should remember all the Irish soldiers who fought in it for the British and a lot of them who got killed. What they don't want us to remember is there was a slaughter in which working class people and lower middle class people were sent out from different countries by people who would later sit around the table and have a good drink with each other, but for the moment had other people killing themselves, killing each other for them. That's the real issue of First World War. And there were risings against the First World War, and that's another thing they don't want to commemorate. They don't want to commemorate the mutinies against the war. They want to commemorate all the people who got shot by firing squads in the war, and all the civilians who got killed or who died through hunger or disease in the war as well. There were risings against the war. There was one on the anniversary this month in Germany in 1919. They rose against the war and they were slaughtered by the government. Before that, there were two in Russia, one in February and one in October, both also uprisings against the war, as well as other issues. And the one in February had been started by the women on Women's Day. Another thing that is not really generally acknowledged. But here in Ireland was the first. This one, in April 1916, was the first rising against the war. It's a hugely important thing, and it deserves to be recognised as an international event. It's not the only thing of international importance here. But remember that the proclamation addressed itself to Irish men and Irish women. That might not seem such a big thing nowadays, but it was a huge thing in those days when women nowhere had the vote except in New Zealand. And here they didn't have the vote, and they didn't have the vote in England either. And this proclamation addressed itself to Irish men and Irish women, recognising that they were both citizens and they both had a right to share in the Republic. And the women took their part in it as well. There were women here, there were women in the GPO, there were women around this area, and there were women around every single area of the fighting, except one, where De Valera was in charge. In every other one. And they did very dangerous work. They passed through these laneways here that are now covered over by that monstrosity there, the ILAC. And they were carrying messages and carrying weapons, carrying food, and in some places they took up arms as well. And it was a woman who went out here under a white flag after other people had already been killed in the street under a white flag. It was the first time in any popular uprising that a proclamation had addressed itself to men and to women. This took place at a time of great imperialism and colonialism around the world. Imperialism still exists, but it's a new style imperialism now, where they manage through puppet governments and start off little wars to get their own way. But in those days, a huge part of the world was under British domination. 1/4 of the Earth's population was under British domination, and 1/3 of its land area. And they rose up against it here. And the word went all around the world that in a city which was considered not so long before the second city of the British Empire, that people had risen against it and risen against the British Empire. It went around the whole British Empire. Later on, people in India made links with the revolutionaries here during the War of Independence. The McSweeneys had links with the Nehrus and the Gandhis. Ho Chi Minh is said to have also gained inspiration from the struggles. And they didn't just rise against the British Empire, they rose against the French Empire, the Spanish Empire, and the Portuguese Empire, and the Belgian Empire. The inspiration from this rising here was huge, and it is not acknowledged either. There's a centuries-old street market here that predates, this street itself predates O'Connell Street. O'Connell Street used to only come down, it was called Drogheda Street, only used to come down to where the spire is, because there was no bridge across the river down there. This is actually older than O'Connell Street, and yet the speculators want to destroy it, build a big shopping centre around it. Brothers and sisters, comrades and friends, we stand here as we did all those weeks, and as we did during the 6 weeks of occupation, 6 weeks of blockade, after 6 days of occupation, in all kinds of weather, to say that this is our history. These are our streets. They don't belong to speculators. They don't belong to corrupt officials. They don't belong to governments who are ready to sell out our land to the gun beans that they gave the state over to. This is a very imperfect state, and it shows itself in the way that it treats its own history. But in a way, it's not their history. It's our history. Our streets. Our heritage.
Mahu Yermid agus great work again by the Save Moore Street from Demolition Group. Agus an isa cardia piece of biog ceol.
Take it down from the mast, Irish freighters. It's the flag we Republicans claim. It can never belong to free staters, for they brought on it nothing but shame. Why not leave it to those who are willing to uphold it in war and in peace, to the men who intend to do killing until England's tyranny cease. Take it down from the mast, Irish fighters. It's the flag we Republicans claim. It can never belong to free staters, for you brought on it nothing but shame. Have murdered our brave Liam and Rory. You've slaughtered young Richard and Joe. Your hands with their blood is still gory, fulfilling the work of the foe. Take it down from the mast, Irish fighters. It's the flag we Republicans claim. It can never belong to free staters, for you brought on it nothing but shame. Why not leave it to those who are willing to uphold it in war and in peace, to the men who intend to do killing until England's tyranny cease. Take it down from the mast, Irish fighters. It's the flag we Republicans claim. It can never belong to free staters, for you brought on it nothing but shame.
And that was the legendary Dubliners with the Republican classic Take It Down from the Mast, still very, very relevant today in the struggle against partition, the Free State and the British occupation of 6 counties in Ireland. Irish Socialist Republicans demand an immediate end to internment in Ireland. There are a number of different types of internment, from internment without trial to internment by remand, and we would argue that all Republicans imprisoned under the auspices of special non-jury courts, effectively military courts in Ireland, face a very special kind of internment by special courts. Today in the occupied 6 counties, a Republican prisoner is being interned in McGilligan Prison by British imperialism for over 300 days. Neil Lahead from Larne had his licence revoked by the British Secretary of State and was returned to prison without any explanation, any evidence, charge or trial, in a gross denial of his human rights. A little over 20 days ago, with the campaign against British internment in Ireland continuing to grow, Britain moved to file trumped up charges against Neil, effectively continuing his internment by remand. Irish Social Republicans raise our voices against this injustice and demand immediate freedom for Neil Lahead. At 2 p.m. on February the 2nd, we will join with a number of other organisations, including the Anti-Internment Group of Ireland and the Abolish the Special Courts campaign, for a white line picket at the British Embassy in Dublin as part of the campaign to smash the special courts and end internment in Ireland. We encourage all those opposed to British imperialism and internment in Ireland to attend. Now, as we go on air today, we have learned that Zionist terrorists have launched an aerial bombardment of Palestine and Damascus in Syria. Zionism is the attack dog of Anglo-American imperialism in the Middle East and is playing a key part in the imperialist wars of conquest and imperialist domination in the region. The Zionist entity is an illegal terrorist entity that has no right to exist. The only option for peace in Palestine is for a secular socialist Palestinian state where all citizens, regardless of their race or religion, can live together and have their needs provided for. This is the policy of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine and is something that we strongly agree with. Irish solidarity with the people of Palestine and the Middle East must be stepped up beyond words into meaningful actions to hold Zionism and imperialism to account. Boycott, divestment and sanction actions, along with solidarity vigils, must be organised. But the Irish people must also hold the Free State to account for its role in facilitating imperialist conquest in the Middle East. For a start, the Irish people must demand the end to the facilitation of Anglo-American imperialism at Shannon Warport and an immediate end to the Free State lucrative arms deals with Zionism. Irish Social Republicans will not be found wanting in this regard, and to this end we have organised a vigil to demand freedom for Ahmad Sadat, the imprisoned General Secretary of the PFLP. This vigil is part of an international week of actions organised by Sami Doon, the Palestinian Prisoners Network, and all supporters of Palestine are welcome. The vigil will take place this coming Friday, the 18th of January at 5 p.m. at the GPO in Dublin. Be there. And that's all we have time for in this week's show of Carja. Thanks again for listening, and we'll be back with you very soon to give you principled, unashamed social public analysis of events in Ireland and internationally. To play us out this week, here's the Internationale, the anthem song of the international working class, sung here by Alistair Hewitt from Scotland. Slán.
Arise, ye workers, from your slumber. Arise, ye prisoners of want. For reason and revolt now thunders, and at last ends the age of cant. Away with all your superstition, servile masses, arise, arise. We'll change henceforth the old tradition, we'll spurn the dust to win the prize. So comrades, come rally, and the last fight let us face. The Internationale unites the human race. So comrades, come rally, and the last fight let us face. The Internationale unites the human race. No more deluded by reaction, on tyrants only will make war. The
The soldiers too will take strike action, no break ranks, they'll fight no more. And if those cannibals keep trying to sacrifice us to their pride, they soon shall hear the bullets flying. We'll shoot the generals on our own side. So comrades, come rally, and the last fight let us face. The Internationale unites the human race. So comrades, come rally, and the last fight let us face. The Internationale unites the human race. No Saviour from on high delivers, no faith have we in Prince of Peer. Our own right hand the chains must shiver, chains of hatred, greed and fear. There the thieves will out with their booty and give to all a happier lot. Each at the forge must do their duty and will strike while the iron is hot. As a comrades, come rally, and the last fight let us face. The Internationale unites the human race. As a comrades, come rally, and the last fight let us face. The Internationale unites the human race. The Internationale